What's up, people's Clown Fight here. I'm just gonna have a look today at the announcement that was made a few days ago about the fight between Whittaker and KHAMZAT CHIMAEV. Guys, now this fight's gonna be a great fight, man. I can already anticipate how this fight's gonna be a good fight. Now, honestly, guys, it's I haven't seen a good UFC fight in a while that's got me talking. It's been quite a long time. Even UFC 300, guys, I haven't even bothered making any videos. Now, don't get me wrong, I do like the main event versus Jamal Hill versus Pereira, but I may do a video on that at some point. But other than that, the card was just bollocks. But this fight here, guys, Whittaker versus Chimaev, I'm just gonna have a little look at the fight. I may give like a brief prediction on what I think could happen, or I may save my prediction for another video. But I just want to have a look at their records and stuff, and just give my take on what I think will happen in this fight. So, as you know, guys, if you have a look at the UFC middleweight rankings, so we can see right now Dricus du Plessis is the champion now. Sean Strickland is at second. Israel Adesanya, Sean Strickland is the number one contender. Israel Adesanya number 2. Robert Whittaker's number 3. Jared Cannonier 4. Marvin Vettori 5. And KHAMZAT CHIMAEV is all the way down at number 11, guys. So they're essentially giving KHAMZAT CHIMAEV a shot at number 3. In my opinion, guys, that's probably a big jump for Chimaev. But again, they want to build Chimaev up. It's apparently supposed to be the next big thing of the UFC. But I do want to have a look at his record, guys, and give you my take on what I think about Chimaev. And I also want to talk about his last fight against Usman and how I potentially think he won that fight, but I don't know. I'll give you my thoughts on it. But yeah, so number 11 ranked Chimaev is going to get a shot at number 3 Robert Whittaker. Now, if he does beat Robert Whittaker, fair play to Chimaev. He will be next. He will be in line for the title shot next. But I've been told that even if Robert Whittaker beats Chimaev, this is for the next title shot of the division. But yeah, so what I want to have a look at first, guys, I want to have a look at KHAMZAT CHIMAEV's record. Chimaev's 29 years old as of right now, and obviously he came in the UFC, I think it was around 2020. That's when he made his debut while COVID and stuff was going on. He took 2 opponents on very, very short notice, and that's what gave him a name. He took 2 opponents on 10 days. He was supposed to be this guy that fights everyone, but since then, guys, yes, he's only had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 fights, so there's a lot of hype on him, guys. Don't get me wrong, he beat his next opponent. He had a fight with Li Jingliang, and he beat him. I remember he carried him across the octagon. He knocked out Gerald Meerschaert with 1 punch. And then Gilbert Burns, guys, I remember watching that fight, and honestly, personally, I gave it to Gilbert Burns. Now, you could have made it a draw, but I think it was a very close fight. I edged Gilbert in that fight, if I'm being honest, but you can't really say nothing. The judges gave it to Chimaev, so fair play there. Kevin Holland fight was an easy fight. And then, guys, the last fight he had against Usman was on very short notice. Now, Usman isn't even a natural middleweight. What ended up happening with Chimaev is, guys, it looks like he's not able to make the weight of welterweight anymore, because after the Gilbert Burns fight, I'm pretty sure they gave him a fight against Nate Diaz, and he was now able to make that weight. So Nate Diaz ended up finding Tony Ferguson, and that fight was at a catch weight between Kevin Holland and Chimaev, because the reason being is he couldn't make the limit of 170. Nate Diaz ended up fighting Tony Ferguson, and Chimaev ended up fighting Kevin Holland. But he just shown signs where he can't make that weight of welterweight. He would have been a good contender in welterweight, but it looks like he struggles to make that weight. So he came back to middleweight, which he's competed in before, and he fought Kamaru Usman on short notice. Now, I'd say he won the first round or 2, but then I would say after that, Usman was getting back into the fight. Chimaev looked like he was slowing down. If this was a 5-rounder, maybe Usman could have done a lot more. Now, again, Usman was on very short notice. I think it was 8 to 12 days. And don't get me wrong, Chimaev won. In my opinion, he hasn't been tested yet properly with the middleweight in the middleweight division. Now they're giving him Robert Whittaker. Robert Whittaker is definitely a real test. He's fought the who's who of that division, guys. If Chimaev can go through Whittaker, then fair play to him, because he deserves to be where he's at. Now, I think he will struggle a bit. I will give you my take. So, Whittaker is 33 years old. If you have a look at Whittaker's record, I'm looking in recent years. So, 2014, guys, he's had a lot of wins. The only fight he actually lost to was Adesanya, and that was in 2019. Since then, he beat Darren Till, beat Jared Cannonier, he beat Kevin Gastelum. He fought Israel Adesanya again, and he lost by points. He fought Marvin Vettori. He won that fight, and he lost to Dricus du Plessis by TKO. He just had a fight with Paulo Costa, who he looked very good against, and he beat Paulo Costa as well. So listen here, guys. The only people that Whittaker's actually lost to are champions, guys. Israel Adesanya, former champion. Dricus du Plessis, who is the current champion. So Whittaker is a boogeyman of the division, guys. I would say he's probably one of the best middleweights of all time. But again, that's barring Israel Adesanya, and obviously he's been lost to Dricus. But in terms of the middleweight division, he's a legend in the game, guys. He's an all-round fighter. I do like Whittaker, man. Whittaker's style. Now, if KHAMZAT CHIMAEV just goes through Whittaker, takes him down and submits him and finishes him, then fair play. I think the hype is real. But in my opinion, I'm not saying he can't do it. I just think it's going to be a harder fight. I think Whittaker will be preparing for all the ground games now. What happens when Whittaker drags it out into round 2, 3, 4, 5? We've seen KHAMZAT CHIMAEV struggle in those rounds against other opponents. So, in my opinion, this is it can go one of two ways. As I said, if Whittaker brings his experience and he's able to withstand the takedowns and the relentlessness of CHIMAEV, as we saw in the Usman fight, there was a lot of takedowns that there was takedowns that CHIMAEV put on Usman in the first round, guys. He put a lot of pace on Usman in the first round, and that's because Usman's a slow starter as it is. He likes to start his he normally starts slow before he gets going, and again, he was on short notice. But as round 2 went on, you could see CHIMAEV was slowing down, and Usman was actually starting to get his groove in the stand-up department. But don't get me wrong, the first round, it was domination by CHIMAEV. He is a wrestler, and that's what he's known for. But again, if he's not, the thing I've noticed with CHIMAEV is, with good wrestlers or people who can stuff him, he doesn't get the finish, guys. He tried to finish Usman, but he wasn't able to. Now, if Whittaker can withstand that first round of relentlessness from CHIMAEV, I think he will have problems on the feet with him. And in my opinion, Robert Whittaker is an actual middleweight. Usman is not really a middleweight. He fights at welterweight. Now, don't get me wrong, he's a big guy, but he's not. He doesn't fight at this weight. Now, look who's Whittaker's fought in his division. He's fought Yoel Romero, guys. This guy is an animal of all animals. He fought Yoel Romero twice. He's fought Israel Adesanya. He was a champion for a while. He's fought Darren Till. He's fought Jared Cannonier. He's fought Kevin Gastelum, Marvin Vettori, Dricus du Plessis, Paulo Costa. The guy's resume, guy, is no joke, guys. He's fought like a lot of who's of the division. He's got a very stellar resume, and in my opinion, if I compare it to CHIMAEV's, the best people CHIMAEV's fought is Usman's one. Gilbert Burns was a good contender, but again, I think that was a 50-50 fight. CHIMAEV nicked it, but honestly, you could have given that to Gilbert. Other than that, he's untested. So in my opinion, we definitely need to see CHIMAEV tested against someone like Robert Whittaker. So I don't even want to give my prediction for this. As I said, I can see CHIMAEV going through Whittaker. If he does that, then he's the real deal. But I can also see him struggling to finish Whittaker and then struggling in the later rounds. Either way, it's going to be a good fight. I'll probably do like a proper thorough prediction and give my official prediction closer to the fight, because you let me know what you think about this fight. Who do you think's going to win? And yeah, you can't write off Whittaker, guys. Whittaker is no joke. He's up there. He's a former champion himself, and this is a real test for CHIMAEV. So, and the good thing about this, guys, is on a UFC Fight Night card. It's not even a pay-per-view, so everyone can really watch this. But yeah, I'm very excited for this. June 22nd, guys. So it's like 2 or 3 months away. But yeah, guys, that's just my thoughts on that fight. But